What's going on, Mike? This is Desmond Clark, former tight end of your Chicago Bears.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Halas Hall Report.
Defense has been playing too good. So I'm going to take the Bears in a rare shootout.
I mean, if that offensive line, we get some help for that one. We in our draft and everything, we need to focus on our offense.
You know, he's going to be on a roll here today. I think he's at least going to have 2 sacks.
Doing it all year long, so if you stop those two guys, who else they got?
Robbie to go. I mean, he took out Aaron for
us.
Go that touchdown, got the 1-point lead with 61 seconds left.
Dalton runs the offense a little better than Fields, as long as the offensive line can somewhat hold up. Welcome to the first episode of the 2022 season, Halas Hall Report. How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Been a long off season. Is everybody ready for the draft?
Yeah.
I'm ready for that first round pick.
Oh, wait a minute.
Ready for it to fly by, that's for sure.
I'm ready for football, so I'm ready for the draft to pass and us to move on.
But then it's going to drag a little bit, probably.
I know.
Definitely. But
I've never been a big fan of the preseason either.
Me neither. It's basically for the youngsters to see who's going to make the team for the most part.
Mm-hmm. She's going to make the team. She's going to go to the XFL, and she's going to go.
True.
Yeah.
Our first subject, we'll talk about a little bit of the offense that we have right now, and we'll talk about the needs. I believe our needs are offensive line and wide receivers, even though we have made some moves. But who do you guys think our needs is? We'll start with Ceejay.
It's definitely wide receiver, and it's definitely a big wide receiver, at least a guy that's at least 6'3". You know, I just feel like maybe that would help Justin's visibility on the field, seeing a big, tall wide receiver put his hand up. Maybe he'll have a better, throw a better ball or somewhat. But we have very small receivers, and I just feel like maybe having a big receiver may help him in his development.
Definitely. I know me and Woody have been saying we need a big receiver, Ken too, but I don't think there's that good of receivers that are big that are going to be in the second round, personally. But what do you think, Ken?
I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in this because I've been watching USFL. The kid who plays for NOLA, I think his name's Adams or something like that, 6'3", big, prototypical dude's making some catches. So I think the USFL and now the XFL being later are going to throw some monkey wrenches, more so the USFL, because that's basically another audition and tape for a lot of these guys. So if we don't find it in the draft, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these USFL guys don't get signed. So that's kind of a little curveball for this year's draft. I think the Bears want to get a wideout in the second round because we're thin anyway. So even if we don't get what CJ's asking for, if we get quality, I think that's a win. Because there's that curveball now in the USFL that's kind of might change the draft up a little bit.
That's a good point.
Very true. Woody, what do you think about it?
Definitely wide receiver. I think we could get another offensive lineman, but, I mean, we're signing these veterans. We got these young guys, too. I think linebacker and cornerback definitely as well. Definitely. Linebacker to, on the other side with Roquan. I mean, looks like we got Mac's replacement in Gibson. And if you got, you got Quinn on the other side. And then maybe a DL defensive lineman as well. So we have a couple of needs, but hopefully the Bears, when they draft and stuff like that, what we need and stuff like that, do they ever get what we want? No.
Hell no.
Well, we'll see.
Ken says that all the time.
Absolutely. We're going to be disappointed somewhere. It just matters where.
I mean, now the only difference is new regimes, so maybe for once they'll surprise. with the new regime, get us what we want.
True. Anything you'd like to add to that, Dan?
Wide receiver. First or second round.
Samantha?
I pretty much agree with Woody, but I don't know that our draft positions are really going to put us in the spots to get the players that we need that really matter. So I think we're mostly just going to be picking up whatever we can get when it's our turn.
So, Sam, are you saying we're going with the old Al Davis, best athlete available?
Pretty much.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, if our punter, our player of the year, our punter goes to Green Bay, that's fucking sad. So, who knows?
Yeah, they'd also be like, you got a couple of ours.
Yeah, but a punter though, man.
He's not
All
bad.
you do is kick.
He did good.
All you do is kick.
Chicago.
Oh my God.
I was too busy sharing it. Did you give your input, Jason?
Well, I did a lot of these. I did a lot of these mock drafts, and I'll tell you what: if they want to get an offensive lineman, if they don't do it right away, they're going to be anyone that is worth taking is going to be gone at the end of the second round. In my opinion.
True,
I don't
but we
know.
got two in the second round.
What's that?
So, did you say the second round?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
we have
If they
two in
don't
the
get
second round, but yeah.
if they don't get one out of them first 2 second-round picks, they're going to be up shit creek with getting an offensive lineman. I'm just going by how I've done a million of those stupid mock drafts already, and there was nothing left after the second round, really.
I did it for myself, and I agree with you for sure. But yeah, what's that, Ken?
Hey, look at my third round. We look at draft picks. There's some offensive line talent in the third and possibly even the fourth round. When I did mine, I mean, I think they gave me an A+ for third pick, which is third round for us, and that was an O-line. I happen to know the kid. I met him here, so I don't know him, but we spoke. And there's some value to be had. And the one thing that I think you might want to remember too, with O-line specifically, yes, you get that guy in the first round as immediate impact, but most of your O-linemen, if you think about, they're second, third, fourth, fifth round guys, and they don't make an impact usually for most O-line until their second or third year in the league. So I would disagree with you by saying we have to do in the second round because there's value in third, fourth, fifth, whatever, and it doesn't have immediate impact because of what we've done already in the offseason. It can be a guy rotational that builds into the starter over the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Agree. But yeah, I actually had everybody do it. I've been seeing everybody doing a lot of live mock drafts, stuff like that. I want to do a little different and just compare our picks. Nobody really seen it but me, and there's some similar ones, and there's quite a few different ones too. So we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to actually the defensive side, what you think our needs are. But here's the lineup that they have of date, and I believe our needs are weak side linebacker, strong side linebacker, right cornerback, and possibly a free safety. Not sure what you guys think about it. We'll start with Woody first. What do you think our needs are?
What do you think? What do you mean the first draft pick we have?
No, just overall as needs as a team. On the defensive side.
I have to say it's between a wide receiver and a cornerback.
Defense.
We can't just have
defense, Woody.
Defense. I'm sorry. Definitely. I say a cornerback. We need DBs.
DBs.
Yeah.
Better DBs. We do have DBs on the team, but I agree we do need better DBs, especially somebody else on the other side of Jalen Johnson. That's just what I think personally.
Yep.
There's a lot of good ones in the draft. There's a lot of good ones.
True.
Oh, thank God we don't need a quarterback this year, or we'd be in trouble.
Eh.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can do this year, that's for sure, because it's all going to be different. Everything's different.
Yeah.
But what do you think our needs are, Samantha?
I think we need a cornerback.
Cornerback as well?
Mm-hmm.
Jason?
Well, I mean, obviously our secondary's not what we want it to be. I don't know. I'm thinking I'd like to see what's there too, because yeah, you need certain things. It'd be nice to have a linebacker, and it's going back to what you guys were saying about the best athlete available thing. It's if I got two players there and one of them's a standout compared to the other guy's just filling a hole, I'm going to take the guy that's the better overall pick. That's just me. I don't know.
Gotcha. CJ?
I think it's safety. I mean, I'm sure everybody has their opinion on the linebacking core, but I think the linebacking core, it's not going to be too bad. We already got a star player in that spot, but I'm really not liking the safeties, and I think we definitely need to upgrade that position a lot more. That has been the Achilles heel for the Bears for the several seasons. So I would like to see them pretty much upgrade that position from top to bottom.
Dan?
Safety or cornerback, depending who's available.
And Ken?
So I'm kind of with Dan and CJ. I mean, and I think you could. I do not dislike Eddie Jackson. I think with this scheme he's gonna be better, but also with the scheme you have to have more depth, right? Because he's gonna get tired because he's doing a lot of different things. So whether it's a safety or corner or something that can be interchangeable, I'm good with that. And I always like having linebacker and line depth, anyways. So then that's what, if we can't get what we want, then I revert to Sam. Hey, just take the best available, because that's probably gonna be at that point a line, or a line person at that point. But if you're a corner, because when you really think about it, those guys can be somewhat interchangeable. You can move them around. So I'm with Dan and CJ on that.
Right on. We got a couple comments here. Facebook user says, "What pick are you?" We don't pick until the second round, 39th pick. Of course, John
39 and 48.
Correct. 9 picks away.
Go
John Dorn's always saying we need a quarterback. Always. I think he hates Justin Fields because he's constantly talking about Justin Fields.
There we go.
Fans in general.
We got another Facebook user comment, says definitely a safety, so they agree with Ken and TJ. But
and like when we think about it, it's kind of like, I think what Sam said earlier about best player available actually holds a lot of merit. Looking at this draft, like being that would say a safety or a corner can be interchangeable, I think that's what they're going to be looking for, especially later on. If that guy who's not on their big board now of it, I think it's an athlete that they can convert to what needs are. So we really want a corner, but they're really athletic safety, then that's what they're going to draft and convert them. I think
they're going to do for sure.
I think that's the mindset to a certain degree.
Gotcha. All right, we'll move on to the mock draft. I had everybody do a mock draft. I'll pull it up, and whoever made the pick, just call it off and discuss a little bit why you made that pick. We do not have a first-round pick, so unfortunately we're going to move to the second round right away. And we'll start with Ken.
Oh, this was mine. Okay. So first round, wide receiver. For me, wide receivers are just kind of like you're going to get what you're going to get. Are you sure this one's mine?
No, those are all of our picks.
Yeah, they're all of ours.
So you have to tell which one you picked. He's starting with you. So who did you pick in that round? Do you remember?
Oh no, I don't remember. I have to look it up. And it's on
Jalen
my.
I know who I picked.
What'd you say, Woody?
I know who I picked.
I know who I picked.
I don't.
Yeah, I
remember.
got mine.
Yeah, I got
Shouldn't
mine,
have
too.
started with Ken.
Yeah.
Well, I even got it on the screen, so if you forget, it's right there.
Yeah, but like if you did 5 of these things, you would get different guys.
Well, that's why I said one and just send it to me.
Okay,
I did numerous ones too.
I'm tied for the lowest grade. There's your hint.
Why is it got to be like that right off the bat?
Well, I wanted Sky Moore, but he was not available in my
He
draft.
wasn't available in yours?
No,
Yeah, he
so
wa-
I got
he wasn't
Jalen.
available
I don't know
in
how
mine
to
either.
say his last name. Pete. What is it?
Petrie.
Petrie. Yeah.
He's a corner, and he's
I-
really good too.
Yeah, I was happy with that. I got an A on it, but I was looking for
Yeah.
Sky and he was gone.
I think I took the guy from Baylor too because he's the best available.
He is the best.
The one I did.
See, Sky Moore was available for me, so I ended up grabbing him. His best year was last year, 1,292 yards. I mean, he had 10 touchdowns as well. And you know what's even better about it? He had no fumbles.
I think the first I tried to was available, and for some reason it stayed. The one I sent, actually, the second one I did, and I think that was the only change from my first run through. Was I had to grab the kid from Baylor instead, which he was the best available wide receiver. So look at the way I look at the draft. It's like playing craps at the casino, anyway. So, if I
And we're probably not going to be right anyways, like you guys said, for sure. The only downfall, he's only 5'10". He's kind of a little guy.
I
We got a
grabbed,
bunch of those guys on our team already.
I grabbed Pickens. That's
Pickens.
who I picked.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I also had Pickens as well with the 39th pick.
Which, he was hurt, but the guy is immensely talented. I mean, and he's a bigger body guy.
Oh, John, please.
Fast.
You got to love him.
Aaron Rodgers needs a haircut. All right, we're not
Yeah.
saying that shit. Who cares? Oh yeah. Freaking kids, man.
tell the Packer fan comments like it's obvious.
They can't even put their name in. They're embarrassed.
It's a fire sale rebuild. Okay, Packer fans gotta love them.
What's up, Billy? Yeah, I'm ready.
Billy.
To
Hey,
What's
Billy.
going on, man?
Oh yeah.
But I was gonna say the reason that I had picked Pickens was because he was a bigger receiver. I basically did that just for that particular reason. I also looked at his stats too; they weren't too bad. But him just being 6'3", I would think that would just help Justin. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be him that they draft, but I would like for them to draft a big receiver, regardless.
Yeah, it's the same reason I went with him, CJ. Big body guy, fast, got pretty good hands.
All right, we'll move on to the next pick, which is pick 48. We'll start with Ken again. You picked Leah Chenal, linebacker. Great.
Yeah. So I was going for depth, mostly, and I figure there's probably good linebacker talent still left at this part. As far as the way this new defense linebacking core is key. So I wanted to add some talent depth early because if I went later, I probably would just get a body and that's it.
Right. Jason, you picked Jalen Petrie along with me. I know a couple people picked him in the 39th pick, but I technically waited to get him for him this round. I believe he's going to be a pretty decent quarterback, at least to help out Jalen Johnson. He could possibly even start. What do you think, Jason?
Baylor's got two good corners, actually. this guy being the better one, but this is a guy I figured could either play safety or corner, which I don't know if that's going to translate to the NFL, but I thought it was possible.
Right, and the grade was actually an A+. Gave you an A+ grade.
You know what's funny? Two of us drafted, so and we have two different grades.
Well, it probably goes off of your first one too. Well, I don't know.
No, it's whatever
They say.
Yeah.
Oh, because what was available in that draft changes.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. And I see CJ went with a cornerback as well, Cam Taylor-Britt.
No, there's a reason behind that as well. Again, it was basically going off of a guy that had a little bit more size. That could deal with these big receivers that, most of the time that the Bears face, that I think that gives the Bears a lot of problems. I didn't know too much about this kid, but I saw that he was a big receiver. A big corner that may be able to play a little bit physical with the bigger receivers, on the opposing team. So this was pretty much just a random pick that I just thought about, and I just picked him up. And, of course, when I saw his grade, I was like, okay. But, it's all about players playing in a system. They may give a player a D grade, but he may go to a system and, end up being a B+, so you never know.
Yep.
Right. And Woody, he went with a tackle. He went offensive lineman from Georgia.
Depth.
Jamar Slater.
Yeah, depth. And I went by the college too. The way Georgia played their offense this year, quarterback had a lot of time. I think he might fit in well. So I picked him.
Right on.
I wanted to say one more thing about Petrie. And I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but if I'm not mistaken, that kid was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year also. So, I mean, he's not too shabby, man.
Right on. Yeah, Bear fan Dan also went with a tackle. He went with Washington State, Abraham Lucas. Anything you like to say about that, Dan?
When I did the draft, we needed a tackle. The old-fashioned line was the top one available.
And Samantha also drafted Leo Chenal from Wisconsin
Yeah.
with Ken.
I mean, he was what I thought was best available on my particular draft, but if I'd have known that Jalen Petrie or whatever would have been there later, I probably would have done what Jason did and switched my picks.
Billy Flores says, big smile, Samantha.
Billy, I'm smiling too.
John Dorn says,
We
"Do
can
you
barely
think
see you, Woody."
Straight up into the first round. I don't know what these guys think in Samantha, but I personally don't think they'll draft up. It'll take too much capital to draft up into the first round. I
wouldn't trade.
No.
No.
Billy said Bears' first pick in the draft will be a safety.
It's possible.
That means the Bears will pick a punter.
Look for our boy Bear Mysterio. He'll be in Vegas in the inner circle of draft day. That's awesome, man, for sure. Hopefully we'll see you when we're watching it live.
Maybe he'll announce the pick.
Who was picked 39th leader vote getter? Not
I think we were tied.
Tied with Petrie.
Petrie and who else had the most?
What was it? Pickens?
Pickens. Yeah,
Yeah.
Petrie and Pickens.
We'll move on to round 3. We'll again start with Ken. He picked a tackle, Zach Tom from Wake Forest.
So this kid from Wake Forest, he won awards. I actually got to meet this young man in my area. He was down here at the Andrews Institute. with about 50, 60 other guys. He gets it. But then when I, start looking, he's one of the few players I looked up because I met him and okay, he won some awards. He has some really good numbers from Wake Forest. Wake Forest has produced some other good Bears that some of you may remember, like Des Clark. So yeah, I think it was a good place to take an O lineman, and this guy comes with some hardware and some pedigree. So, and he gets the mentality of, I know I'm not going to go there right away and be the starting all-pro tackle. It takes takes some time to mesh with the line. So he's got the mindset. So I kind of like the kid, and he was there, and he was the highest-rated tackle actually left on the board when I got there. So it was just a no-brainer.
Gotcha. Jason also went to a tackle from Kentucky, Darian Kinnard.
Yeah, that kid's a monster. Just a monster. He's definitely NFL ready. He's, I would say, step in and start right away kind of quality, in my opinion anyway. And I kind of felt like when he was there, I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome that he's still there. So that's why I grabbed him. I was kind of shocked, actually, to see he was still there when I was drafting.
Yeah, I did a few, and there's players that just go different. Some of them are available, some of them aren't. It's just different. But Ceejay also went with a tackle from Central Michigan, Luke Gadecki.
Yeah, that's probably how to say his name. He was.
Somebody's
I
name
just
is
saw.
up.
Yeah, who knows? I just saw him. He was just available. I didn't see the other two guys that were that Ken and Jason had picked. So I pretty much went with this guy. He might be a backup, most case scenario. It just depends. Like I said, it's all about the system that you're in. But I just picked him because he was pretty much available, and I felt that the Bears needed some depth at that tackle position.
Right on.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
What's that?
one other reason I went with Zach Tom. So when I talked to him, I asked him, so where do you not want to go? And his first answer, before he even knew I was a Bears fan, I don't want to go to Green Bay.
Right on. Well, I went receiver and cornerback. So my also next need that I said before that we needed offensive lineman, I went with a guard, Dylan Perem, just because he's a big guy, and I feel like we need help at the guard position for depth. Woody went with a cornerback from Alabama, Jalen Amar Davis.
Yep, he had a good year, except for against Georgia in the SEC championship. But yeah, I wanted that cornerback to help out Jalen Johnson because we need it.
For sure, 100%. Samantha went with a wide receivers from South Alabama, Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah, and you know what? I think for third round, I thought he was a pretty good steal. I think he had like 700-yard games last year or something. So
Wow.
for third round, I was happy with getting him.
Okay. Bear fan Dan also went with a wide receiver. He went David Bell from Purdue.
Yeah.
Because we just did the draft.
You got that. Good pick, Dan.
Hey Dan, we never picked those A and B's, so F might be good.
It's cool to have an F and a D every once in a while. It ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wouldn't have turned that in. I'd have done it again.
Well, actually, when Dan first gave me his thing, I said, go ahead and do your draft, this and that. He traded so much, I had to PM him and be like, that's too much to write and like put on there. Could you just do a 7-round real quick for me?
Nobody. Hey, Mike, you didn't like my draft out first either.
I
said trade all the picks away.
That was impossible to do. For sure. But we don't have a 4th-round pick. We have a 5th-round pick. We actually have 2 in the 5th round. The first pick in the 5th round is pick 48.
I got an F, baby. Yeah.
He's
I got an A, and I think it kind of actually turns to trash around here. Like it's just whatever's available, and
the
did
best
you get lucky?
available.
Yeah.
Ken went with a
Right.
cornerback from Alabama, Josh Jobe.
Yeah, just once again needs and maybe some more depth. And Alabama seems to produce some pretty decent athletes, so why not?
For sure. Jason, he went with a wide receiver. He went with a SMU, Danny Gray.
Basically, the reason why I went with this guy was 6 feet tall, 4.3 40, underrated. I think he's going to be a decent NFL player. I think he's being overlooked, and I got an A.
You said
I knew who he was, man. I mean, and plus I seen him in the combine run a 4.3, and man, he looked good running.
For sure. CJ, he also got an A minus to be exact. He also went with a guard, Lacheta Smith from Virginia Tech.
That a
Yeah,
boy.
I think the one
boy.
thing. Oh, what was that?
That a boy, Virginia Tech. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I think the thing that I remember about this kid when I was actually reading up on him is that I think he gave up the least amount of what was it, pressures or sacks? I have to look at it again, but when I looked at his profile and looked up his information, he had a pretty good year. So it was between him and another guy, and I just pretty much chose him. I just liked what I saw.
Right on. Hopefully, Woody already said he got an F. Hopefully, he got better grades in school, but he went with halfback Ryan Robertson.
Hey, I had basketball scholarships coming out of school. I had good grades. I thought we needed, with us getting rid of, Cohen, Williams, Dallas signing Ryan Nall. I thought we needed, that third backup running back to help out. So I guess he wasn't the best available, but I thought he might, be a good fit. But I guess not.
Could be that sleeper.
Yep. Hey, Herbert was a sleeper too.
Definitely was. Samantha went with a cornerback from LSU.
Yeah, got an A too. Basically,
dirty,
he was the best available. And I thought that's probably more realistic on what we might actually take and add some depth.
For sure. Bear fan Dan went with a tackle as well. He went with North Dakota, Matt Watsika.
Basically the best available.
Got an A. Plus, it's for depth. I also went with a tackle. I saw a couple other people. They said he's a big dude. I actually waited, and he was available in the 5th round, so I grabbed him up from Wake Forest, Zach Tom.
He'd be a steal in the 5th.
Yeah, in the 5th round.
I was actually surprised he was there. I was amazed, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I think tackles and guards are really hard for us to judge overall. Like the amount of screw comes to this type of stuff, but Zach Tom, like I said, he's bringing some impressive hardware with him coming out of Wake Forest. I mean, some talent. And Jason, you said you're not going to find it after round 2, but it's there in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round still. I mean, there's a lot of talent on the old.
When he said that, I was biting my tongue because I knew.
I should have clarified that a little bit. I kind of meant like day one starter, like right away, get in on the team, starting, help us out right away, kind of deal. I know for a fact some of these guys will develop into starters, but it'd be nice to not have to wait.
I mean, a guy like Zach Tom, for instance, so he might be he might be a starter by midseason or take it over next year. I mean, that's the thing with some of these late guys. What was the rookie last year who got pressed in the service almost the whole? We took him as a 5th rounder, and he started almost 3/4 of the season. Now he is the starter, right? So I mean, these late round guys, I think they just get overlooked because as a wide receiver or a corner or a quarterback or a running back. It's probably one of the least sexy. In fact, of all the draftable positions besides kickers, it's probably the least sexy, right? Because even the O-line, D-line is sexy. How many times they sack the quarterback, but the O-line guys are the least sexy of all of them. Yet there's so much talent in the pool.
Unless you like dad bods, then they're the sexiest
Oh yeah.
position.
Definitely. Well, with 2 picks to go, the next pick is in round 5, pick 150. Ken, he went with somebody picked him, I think, the last round, Matt Walitziko.
Hey, it's just a Bears name, dude. Look at that last name. That's just says I belong on the Bears. No, but once again, I wanted to shore up the line. I think like I said, there's so much talent in this year's draft at the tackle position. It's just this would be a good year to stockpile, because these are guys that midway through or next season are going to be longtime starters on that O-line. And if you notice, a lot of the teams that are highly successful, their O-line, not much age difference, right? They're all drafted within a year or two of each other. So we got 2 young ones from last year's draft. While it makes sense to add more. So that's why I went that way.
Right on. Myself and Jason, we went with cornerback. A cornerback, he went in the earlier rounds. I believe 2 people picked him as well. I know one for sure. LSU, Cordell Float. I believe, Samantha, you got him, right?
Samantha
Yeah, I did. And basically, no good reason.
Right. Well, you said you got an A. Well, we got an A too, right, Jay?
Wait, we're talking the fifth? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got him. But see, then I got well, we're not there yet, but I see him up here too. Chris Paul, you guys talking about him. I got both of those dudes in the 5th round picks, so they're pretty much interchangeable in my opinion.
Very true.
The only thing I didn't like about Flott, and I think that's why he dropped to this as far back as he did. He's small.
Yeah.
And he's got a frame to fill out, and he plays hard, but I think he'll have a hard time against the bigger NFL targets. He's definitely not going to cover a number 1.
So could he be a guy that maybe gets drafted as a CB but moves in a safety position?
Yep. Because he's a physical player, tough.
Yeah, he's 6'1".
Yeah, like I said, he has the frame, but he's just not. He's not a strong. He's got to fill out.
Right. Ceejay went with a wide receiver, Tyquan Thornton, if I pronounce it right.
Yeah, Thornton. Yeah.
From Toledo, Baylor.
From Baylor. Yeah. It was a couple of guys in that spot, and like I said, I pretty much went with him because I thought he was the best available that I've seen in that spot. There could have been some guys that could have been better, but pretty much just went with need as far as what I think the Bears might do with one of those 5th round picks. They may go with wide receiver, so that's pretty much what that pick came down to.
Right.
Thornton had good numbers, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look, but I think he had pretty good numbers.
Yeah. Woody went with a safety from Toledo, Tacina Anderson.
Yeah, watch his highlights, man. This guy could tackle. He might take Jackson's job. Telling you.
Or possibly move to a free or the other safety.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Watch his highlights. So I'm surprised he was here this long.
Samantha went with a tackle, Chris Paul, like she said, from Tulsa.
Yeah, I just thought they were interchangeable and best available people at that time. It worked out. I got an A on both.
Well, Bear fan Dan went with the wide receiver from the same team, Tulsa, Josh Johnson.
Yeah, that didn't work out for him, though.
No.
Yeah. Guess wide receivers is my choice.
D minus.
Valedictorian.
At least me and Dan had the same idea as far as wide receiver. I just feel like they're gonna. To me, my gut is telling me that they're gonna get a wide receiver in the 5th round with one of those picks. So
Definitely, never know. They could, like you said, just do stuff that nobody even picked.
yeah,
Well, that's probably what's going to happen. Let's be real.
I think I want to say I got a with the last pick wide receiver, and it was a guy that was pretty damn good. But I don't know. I can't remember. I did so many of the damn things.
Well, as soon as it does draft, though, I'm definitely going to compare and see. 100%. Our last pick is in round 6. Round 6, pick 186.
Was that an A+ I got there? Oh.
yeah.
Ooh, got a good one, huh?
Oh, yeah.
During the garbage round.
Want to explain that a little bit, Ken?
Once again, just kind of like keeping my theme of building up young offensive line. So taking a guard there, made some sense. Building the line, that young line. If he can stick, that gives you 5 guys in your line that were drafted in the last 2 years. And if they can stick, that could give us a line that can hold for 6, 7, 8 years. And that's what you're looking for, right? So I just kind of went. I kind of winced though, because the North Carolina guy, and remember what happened last time we drafted North Carolina and Chicago. Fans got a little mad, but I said, if they're gonna get mad, they can't cancel me because it's the last round for us, so they can deal with it. I didn't trade up for it. I just let it sit there, and I figured, hey, depth at guard, you can't have enough of it.
Jason went with wide receiver from Tulsa, Josh Johnson.
Yeah, I take this back. This guy I think he ran like a 4.6 40, and I got fooled on that one. And yeah, I think he's projected late day 3 now. Because he had a terrible pro day, and he ran over like a 4.6, almost a 4.7 40.
Yeah, I want to bring something to everybody's attention before we continue. Dan had this pick the last round, and the fact that they gave him a high grade this round, it relates to what Jason just said. So let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right on. DJ went with a safety from Iowa, Dane Belton.
Yeah, this was another pick based on need. Like I told you guys before, I feel like the Bears need to get some more depth in the secondary, especially at safety. I know we got a lot of young guys at that position, so you can't go wrong with getting more guys at one position to see who's going to pan out. So
and I live in Iowa, and I can firsthand tell you that Belton is a badass. I've seen him play more than once. He is a badass.
Woody went with linebacker from Wisconsin, Jack Sanborn.
Yeah, D baby, D.
D minus.
Wisconsin's track record of their defense, even though the Watts played the line, but I knew that linebacker. We needed one, so he was the best available left. I guess he wasn't the best.
Maybe available for sure, but I agree. We definitely need another linebacker, like I was discussing. Samantha went with a guard from Kansas State, Josh Rivas.
That was pretty much the best that I saw on my pick. I did so good on all the others, there was not much left.
Oh, here we go.
Bear fan Dan went with a cornerback from Fresno State, Deron Bland.
Yeah, probably the best available. At the end.
Brought his PA up a little bit.
My last pick, I thought that we needed more wide receiver depth to get better, hopefully, and I did get a B+ from Rutgers, Bo Melton. Like I said, I didn't see any really big receivers available that were decent. You know, my receivers are literally 5'10" and 5'11" and 5'10" or 5'11". That's it.
Is he fast at least?
Honestly, didn't know much about him when I drafted him because it was the last pick.
See, so I mean, in that case, they're like, Mike, if I'm the Bears, and let's say I had the same train of thought you did, unless he's 6'1" or higher, I don't even think they would draft a whole other position because we've already got shorter, faster dudes, right? So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand where you're going. It just didn't work out for you in that pick. At least according to the grade system. Yeah.
It's better than most of us, though. He got, what, a B+ on it? Was
Yes.
it a B+?
Yeah, I wasn't saying nothing. I was letting it ride.
Like I was going to say, that was a pretty good one for the final pick. Pretty good grade.
But I'm just saying, I don't think the Bears would actually do that given what's already on the team.
I mean, that might make sense, but that's not typically what the Bears do. So
yeah. This is our first poll draft, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see.
Like poll has in his house every night.
I heard you.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, we're having a live draft party tomorrow that starts at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anybody's willing to show up, you can PM me. We'll be doing it Zoom, not StreamYard, because StreamYard only allows us to have 10. So it should be a pretty good outcome. I'm pretty sure there's at least 30 people coming.
I'll be there unless I have to show a house.
Yeah, the Packer fans just be yelling about how we need a quarterback all day. That's all they're going to do.
I'll just beat the hell out of them. I won't even listen to them.
And for all the Bear fans, on Monday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard, is that correct, CJ?
Say that one more time, Mike. I'm sorry.
8 p.m. Central Standard Time? Is that what time your Monday night your CJ podcast is?
It's actually 7:30 p.m. Central Time.
7:30, my mistake. If anybody wants to come watch and holler at him, he has a show on Monday nights. It's real good. Some of us even go on it from the panel as well. Most of the time I'm busy on Monday nights, but I'm definitely going to hit your show a lot more if I can.
Okay, no problem. Anybody is more welcome to come. I will send you guys the link.
Tell Coach I said, hey.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
That's literally all I had for the show. If anybody has anything else to, to say, you're more than welcome to say it.
So actually, how many of us think that there's even a remote possibility that the Bears are active in the trade market during the draft?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too. I just don't see it.
What, trading Robert Quinn for a first rounder?
I mean, no, just any kind of trading at all. Maybe swapping third for getting to the third. Maybe picking up an extra second round, something like that, even or just even doing a position swap.
I don't think we can afford that.
No,
I really don't. I really don't.
Not just affording it. I don't think we'll do it. Period, because we got so much relying on next year. So.
Yeah. Giving up anything to move up is a bad decision, in my opinion.
Just think of that draft capital we'll have next year.
Right.
Yeah, all the money we're going to have next year. Like, where are we at? 130 million.
I thought it was like 148 already, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's what Bill says about the Packers.
Hey, don't bring me in your mess.
Right. So all that bullshit that the Packer fans be throwing out, what we're gonna do, we just said it for the last time. So if you want to know what we're gonna do, come back and watch this playback of the show.
Hey, CJ, can I ask you a question?
What up?
Oh, here we go. How much the Bears going to have in 2034?
No, I was going to ask you, what are the Bears going to do?
Oh my God!
You got to ask Ryan Bowles.
So next actual real question. I know I brought it up earlier. How many of you guys think the Bears might make a signing of a USFL player? And then how soon or how long do you think before we start seeing these USFL guys getting signed to NFL contracts. Remember, their season goes through July 4th weekend, right? So will teams, or even maybe possibly the Bears, let's say we don't get the wide receiver we like, but we see one we like in the USFL. Do we sign them before the USFL season's over, or are NFL teams going to not touch anything until July 4th weekend?
I haven't watched it at all.
Yeah. I mean, Ken, my personal opinion, I'm just saying this for as a business perspective. A lot of teams who don't have cap money may be able to go and get those guys for cheap just to see what they'll do. So you never know. But I think teams that have a lot of salary cap may not do it, but I can definitely see the playoff teams maybe looking at them and see what they can find.
Yeah, if you haven't watched USFL, these guys have been together now, 4 5, but there are a couple wide receivers, a couple linebackers, a few corners that have already kind of balled out a little bit in the USFL. Because some of these guys are practice squad guys. Some of these guys took the year off for COVID, and then they didn't make a team last year after the break. So for some of these guys, we're just seeing tape maybe for the first time in 2 years. I think there's some talent, especially in the wide receiver and cornerback. I've seen some good talent there. The quarterback play's been iffy, but there's been some standout wide receivers, I think, right now, and maybe 1 or 2 running backs that might be made to make the roster. I'm just wondering how soon after the draft teams turn to USFL and try to draft a few guys.
Now, Ken, let me ask you a question. Are those guys eligible to go to the practice squad?
I think I'd have to look at because the USFL is a part of the NFL, right, or in tandem with. So I'd have to look at it. I think a couple of the guys in the USFL have practice squad experience. Some have no NFL experience. Some have actually played in the league for a season and have some starts. So I'm not sure, and that's probably the answer to my question. Might even be in whatever that agreement is when the NFL can start signing these guys, because obviously it might not be in their best interest if they want to keep the USFL alive. If next week they sign all the best wide receivers out of the league, right? Yeah. So, but I'm just wondering. I'm thinking the Bears might look at that market in the wide receivers, especially because we might not get what we want in the draft at that position, and that might be a good option for us.
Okay. I got a story. I don't know if you guys ever watched Hard Knocks, and then some of them NFL shows. There's a kid from the neighborhood here. There was only one kid that made it from the show that I'm talking about, and he was from Iowa. He was a freshman at Iowa. He played in the Rose Bowl, running back. His name's Brandon Wager. He went to Iowa, knocked some girl up, ended up going to Morningside College here in Iowa. All-time leading rusher. He was the only guy that made the team on that show. And he made the Panthers. He got a 3-year, $750,000 deal. Ended up doing pretty good in the preseason, but he didn't make it very far. But I just thought, there is guys that are worthy of playing in the NFL that don't get the chance.
And I think more than a few, like that story you just told, when I was watching the late game on Sunday, it was one, I might be even been the same kid they were talking about. I don't know because I can't remember the name, but they were talking how, there are some preseason stars in the USFL, like guys who did really good in the preseason with NFL teams, but for whatever reason didn't stick. And now they're in the USFL. And I think the Bears might look there because there's some talent, especially if we don't get what we want in the draft. I mean, I don't think any of these quarterbacks in the USFL are going to make a team. But I think at the wide receiver position, the running back position, maybe a couple of the backers that are in the USFL, we might see them on NFL rosters this year. And I would not be surprised if the Bears dip their toes in that, considering we've got a decent amount of money, but we don't want to blow it, right? We want to spend a lot of it this year because we want it for next year. So I could see them maybe, and some of these guys are 6'3", 6'4", prototypical big receivers, and some of these guys are making some plays.
This kid, I seen him his son plays baseball in the same league as mine. He is jacked, dude. Oh my God, he's jacked. And he looks the part for sure, man. But like I said, he was pretty phenomenal running back his freshman year at Iowa. And then for whatever reason, he made some mistakes and ended up at a hole-in-the-wall school.
It's going to be interesting this week, and it's going to be. And I'm going to. Hey, Mike, I'll try to research out the USFL when they can actually sign them. I mean, I think it's going to happen. I just don't. I think they're going to be out of contention. The team might have to be out of contention or something. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But we might be live next week, depending on my schedule. I'm not sure if anybody's available to come on, but I'll hit everybody up in the chat. But I appreciate everybody doing the draft. I kind of liked it, but thanks, Ken. We'll see everybody next week.
Hey, Mike.
I just looked it up real quick.
Yeah.
And no USFL players are allowed to be on NFL offseason rosters due to the collective bargaining agreement.
So does that mean they're not eligible to be signed until after the USFL championship?
That's how I'm taking it.
Okay.
And I just glanced over it quick, but they're not allowed to be on off-season rosters.
And Mike, you didn't have a graphic that showed all of our overall grades.
I actually did. I don't remember where I saved it. That's why I was quiet looking. I have it, but
I believe I had an A or an A+, somewhere around there.
I do have it saved, though. I just couldn't find it. I don't remember where I saved it at. I thought I uploaded it, but I guess I didn't.
I look forward to seeing how many of our picks we actually pick.
Right. And that's what I was going to come back on next week for.
Yeah.
I can elaborate on it now.
Okay.
No USFL players, while under contract, can sign in the NFL.
So that would mean until the end of their season. So after July 4th weekend, probably. I think that's their championship weekend. They're playing in Canton, which that's my only problem with the USFL is all the games are in Birmingham, which is right up the street for me. Even with the tickets being $10, so it's a $300 day for me because of travel, hotel, whatnot. But they're playing all the regular season there, and then the playoffs and championship are going to be at the Hall of Fame in Canton. And I think that's July 4th weekend. So, I mean, that's still plenty of time for it's fine to go to camp. But that just means that, I guess them missing the OTAs won't make much of a difference because they'll actually be playing in a league.
Yeah, they're still playing anyway. You know?
So that makes sense.
For sure. But hopefully I'll see everybody next week. Everybody have a good night. If not, I'll see everybody tomorrow at the draft party.
See you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Frozen Tundra podcast.
Go, Pack, go!
Hump Day! Yeah!
Welcome to the next episode of Halas Hall Report.
Stop, Bears.
Yeah!
Hey, you want Detroit Lions football? The hits, the action, the biting the kneecaps? It's all here. This is our show. Get ready for the Motor City Lions Talk Show.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Packers Show.
I was very happy on how our defense stepped up because the few weeks prior they haven't been doing so good.
Play fake. Cousins taking a deep shot. Jefferson's got separation, and he's got the catch inside the 40. Jefferson still going. See you later.
Welcome to the Bears Show. It is game day. We are doing the live shows on Sunday mornings at 9:45 a.m.
It's showtime!
The final hour of the show, we allow every fan base on, considering Bear fans, Viking fans, Lion fans, even Bucks fans come on. So come check out the show.
Let's go!